Rose. I'm Enigmatic. Today we're going to talk DLC, specifically Crusader Kings 3 DLC. No, sorry, there's actually been no news from Paradox yet about official DLC. We haven't even had a dev diary in months. But we do have this lovely little tweet right here that says mid-February. Fingers crossed. It's the beginning of February now, so, you know, let's just hope. Ooh, pray. Because we need some more content for Crusader Kings 3. Love the game, but it needs more flesh. It needs more meat on its bones, because it's got some really good bones, but it needs more meat. What are we expecting with a DLC? What can we hope for with a dev diary? I don't know, but I can speculate, as can you. So if you would like to speculate with me, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you're thinking. Subscribe to the channel. Lovely videos every week about Crusader Kings 3 and other games. I do play other games. Perhaps some Prison Architect, RimWorld, all that good stuff. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Ring that bell. Leave a comment. Tell me, what do you speculate will be in a DLC for Crusader Kings 3? Hopefully, Dev Diaries will get a DLC. And we'll probably also get some free content that comes with a patch, would be my guess, considering that seems to be the policy these days with Paradox and their main titles. But to look at DLCs, we're also going to learn from the predecessors, and we'll take a look at the previous version of Crusader Kings. Crusader Kings OG, can't really compare with that because that came out in 2004. There was one expansion, yes, expansion, not DLC, that came out in 2007 called Deus Vult. And that was it. Take a look at this lovely dev diary. That's it. That's the dev diary. You click that, you get a 6-page PDF that tells you what the changes are. Typed up by Johan himself. Very different world. A very different world, yes. So, we're gonna go actually look at Crusader Kings 2, which had countless DLC. Yeah, there's so much. You could spend so much money on it. A lot of it is, of course, cosmetic. There's dynasty shields and character portraits and music and all sorts of fun stuff, but not necessary for the game. And then there's the 15 DLCs. 15! Like, Jesus Christ! That's a lot. And we're going to take a look at which ones we really want to have in Crusader Kings 3, which ones can just, go yeet themselves out the window, and which ones are already in the game. And make sort of predictions and speculation from there about what we can expect in Crusader Kings 3. Here we are. I've got this lovely tier. At the very top, we have, hell yes, this better be in Crusader Kings 3. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Then we have parts. Yeah, some of this DLC should be in. Some of it shouldn't. It's a mixed bag with that one. And there's a maybe if we sort of transform it a bit, because of how it appeared in CK2 was not the best. And then we have already in. This DLC is already in the game. It came packaged with the base game of Crusader Kings 3, so why do you need to make a DLC on it? You really kind of don't, unless they do a DLC that makes these parts even better? I don't know. Who knows what plans the devs have in their little twisted minds. That sounded bad. But it's a compliment, because you really do need a twisted mind to create great stuff for Crusader Kings. Alright, and then last thing is the things that we can just yeet out the window. Goodbye. Don't need it. Don't want it. If you really, really do want to check it out, I'm sure there's a mod. Yeah, so we're just gonna go in order here, with Sword of Islam being the first one. Here's Sword of Islam. It's already in. Boom. Main part of this DLC, you could play as a Muslim. You could go on jihads. That's already in the base game of Crusader Kings 3, so why do you need a DLC for it? You don't. Next up, we have Legacy of Rome. Hell yes. So the basics of Legacy of Rome is it added a lot to Byzantium. It added retinues into the game, which now are completely reworked in Crusader Kings 3, so that's not a thing. But Byzantium in Crusader Kings 3 needs more. It needs more flavor. It needs more oomph to it, because Byzantium was such an important historical area. It had the legacy of Rome. It was Rome. It was just the Rome in the East. They called themselves Romans. And currently, if you try and change the name back to Rome by forming Rome with Byzantium, your nation gets broken. It just gets broken. You go from Primogenitor to Gavelkind. You lose all of your crown authority. It's broken. And Byzantium needs to be dealt a better hand of cards than that, because they deserve it. And I think there's a very good chance that this will be our very first DLC, considering how early it was in the CK2 lineup and how important it is. And then also, it's a big name. It's Rome. It's Byzantium. People recognize that. It makes people more willing to buy it. And if a DLC sells really well, they're more likely to be able to spend more money making a better DLC for the next one. So, I'm expecting something like that. Either the first or the second DLC. Next up, we have Sunset Invasion. This one. If you don't know this one, this is where the Aztecs invade Europe. That's it. It can get yeeted out the window, just like I yeeted the Aztecs back into the ocean for this glorious achievement. Just yeet them. Get out. We don't want ya. If you really do want that, there's a mod. Go download it. Have fun. We don't need to spend no money on that. Next up, we have Rajasthan of India, which has this handy-dandy elephant on it. And I put that as a maybe, because we already have India in the game. When this DLC came out for CK2, there was no India on the map. I do have a video right up there comparing CK2 without DLC and all the expansions and stuff. It's a different world. But yeah, there was no India to begin with. Now we have India. The map's much bigger. We have more of Africa. We have all sorts of stuff. But I put this as a maybe because this sort of was focused on you can form India and there's supposed to be more flavor and all sorts of stuff, and we kind of need that now, but not the way it came out in CK2. We need something different, maybe sort of like what we're suggesting with the Legacy of Rome. We need something like that. And here comes one of my favorites, the Republic. This is a hell yes, we need Merchant Republics, but not like they were in CK2. For Merchant Republics, we need trade completely reworked. We need everything differently, except for, like the fact that you had your own palace and then you could upgrade that even if you didn't hold land was beautiful, and we need that back. Hell, I'd love that for like every holding. But we need republics. We need merchant republics. We want them. Let's have them back. And then we have the old gods. We got the old gods in the game already. That was being able to play as a pagan. And we got the 867 start date with the old gods. It's already in the game. Then we had Sons of Abraham. I'm going to say parts of some Sons of Abraham because it did some cool things playing as, you could finally play as a Jew with Sons of Abraham, which is already in the game, technically. And it made playing as a Catholic more interesting. It made playing as any of the Abrahamic religions more interesting, and we kind of need more of that, but just not the way it came in CK2. Yeah, we need a DLC like this, just like we need one for like probably every one of the core religions. There's the pagan, there's the Eastern, and the Abrahamic. We kind of need a DLC maybe that incorporates all three of that and just adds a deeper religious gameplay experience. Not tying to like real world religion, even though those are real world religions, but to make it feel more vibrant, more heavy in the roleplay. We need some sort of DLC like that, I feel. Charlemagne, I'm sorry, I love the 769 start, but I'm gonna yeet you out the window because you broke the game. It was too early, the time period. Like, we need a standalone game that was like from the fall of Rome to the death of Charlemagne. that would be a good standalone game. And then we have Way of Life. Way of Life is already in, basically. I mean, it was very different in Crusader Kings 2 compared to how it is in Crusader Kings 3, but we have education traits and we have lifestyles and like that's in Way of Life. We don't need it. It's already in. It's already in. We don't need that DLC. Spend your energy somewhere else. Horse Lords. Horse Lords. We need those Horse Lords. We need some nomads. It needs to be completely different from how it was in Crusader Kings 2, because in Crusader Kings 2, Horse Lords were fun until you started really, really conquering, and then it just became a logistical nightmare. You know, the handing out of the clan land and just scrolling through 20 million titles, and it was just, yeah, we don't need that. We need some sort of nomadic Horse Lords, but we don't need them how they were in CK2. I want to conquer the continent as a Horse Lord or Horse Lady, but I don't want to give myself a headache doing it. I still have nightmares of the sponsored Monarch's Journey video I did last summer for PDX. Links up there. I did the Horse Lord, and the video's like 20-something minutes long, but I think I had to play for like 10 hours to get that because there was just so much nonsense in between. And I was playing most of it with a baby strapped to my chest, so yeah, and still recovering from a C-section too. Because that was at like 5 weeks postpartum. Yeah, I should have chosen a different monarch. Oh God. I don't think I was thinking clearly at that time. Yeah, I was sleep deprived. But yeah, Horse Lords, we need them, but we need them differently. Then we have Conclave. Now, Conclave is interesting because the changes it made to laws and your council are kind of already in the game. Like, they've completely reworked a lot of stuff. Education traits for kids, whereas in Conclave, which is weird, you would think they'd be in Way of Life, but no, they were in Conclave. I'm going to put this as already in. Maybe we need... maybe I'll put it in maybe. It's kind of like Rajasthan of India in that what Conclave did and what it focused on is already in the game, but we maybe need more or something a little different. Like what we have in the game is a good solid bone, and now we got to put some flesh on it, some meat. And a Conclave style DLC could do something like that. And then we have Reaper's Due, which was all about the illnesses. Quite fun. I would say with the parts, we need something sort of like that to, add more. Like, honestly, why are we getting the bubonic plague in 1070? That doesn't even make sense. The illnesses and their appearance in Crusader Kings 3 is quite awesome, but they need some more reason? I don't know. I mean, parts of Reaper's Due is already in Crusader Kings 3 because we already have court physicians. But I feel like we need more. Maybe a way to, like, combat a plague, lock down your castle, have the full-on Black Death wave coming through. We need something. I think we need something like that. And then we have Monks and Mystics. I like Monks and Mystics. It adds all sorts of secret societies you can join. And yeah, I think they need to be a bit different. But we do need a Reaper's Due. We already have a little bit, like we have the bare bones of, you can become a witch and form a witch coven, which I did with Queen Victoria the First. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Lots of fun to form a witch coven and be a witch and do all that stuff, but it needs more. And we need other societies. If you want to be really religious, you need to be able to join like the Dominican Order or something. We need more. We need something special, groups. Just more role plays. That DLC was very heavy in the role play, and it worked across the board no matter what religion you played, what culture. It didn't matter what level. If you were playing a count, it gave you a lot more to do than, because if you're playing a king or an emperor, you were already very busy. If you're playing a count, you'd have long periods of nothing because you were waiting for a plot to go fire. And Monks and Mystics gave you lots of fun stuff to do in between, and we need a DLC like that. I would think that would be one of the first ones, but then it could also be up there with, Horse Lords of Republic could come first, depending on who's working on what and what they really want to work on. And then we have Jade Dragon. Jade Dragon, I delayed buying that one. That's like the one DLC I delayed buying. And we kind of need it, but very differently. Like, I'd love to see just actual China put on the map. Not the weird pseudo-China that we had in Jade Dragon. And that was about all Jade Dragon really added. I mean, it added, you could do the Imperial government style if you were Han. It wasn't the best DLC. It needs more. I like the idea of having a DLC that's focused on like bringing China and maybe Tibet and, Korea even, Japan into the world of Crusader Kings. It would play very differently, I feel, but it could slot into that world pretty well. I would have hopes for that, but how it was in CK2, just throw it out. Just no. Oops. All right, and then we have Holy Fury. Holy Fury. I love Holy Fury, but a lot of Holy Fury, is already in the game. Being able to redo religions, reform religions. It's even better in CK3 than it was in Holy Fury. The Holy Fury came with a free patch which changed Crusades. That's already in. I would say what Holy Fury added that we don't have are like warrior lodges, but I'd honestly put that in with the Monks and Mystics as sort of, groups that you could join. One is a warrior's lodge if you're tribal or pagan. And then have different groups that are like warrior lodges are for pagans, and then we have like Dominican order and such, or the Benedictine order for Catholics, or something equivalent for the Abrahamic religions, and then we need something for the Eastern religions. So I'm just gonna stick Holy Fury as kind of already in. Glorious as that DLC was, they put most of it in the game already. It's just how it is. And then the last one is Ruler Designer. It's already in. They added it in a free patch in November. Lots of fun. But that's it. That's my thoughts. I'm pretty sure we're going to get Legacy of Rome first. Could be wrong. We could end up with maybe a Monks and Mystics style first. I feel like they're going to go with one of those rather than adding a whole new government type. Just because they want to appeal to the broadest of audiences first. And putting out a DLC that's... Hell, Monks and Mystics would honestly be my first if I was deciding. Because, again, it's the broadest sort of DLC. It's a DLC that can go for any government type, any religion. So something sort of like that would be my preference for first. Do I think they're going to do it first? They could do more of a Legacy of Rome, or they could go back and add Republics or Horse Lords. I think any of these four are a good possibility for the first DLC. My gut tells me they're going to do Legacy of Rome. But I really, really would prefer them to do a sort of a Monks and Mystics style, add in all those societies. That's it. We won't see these five, because we already have them. Yeet out the window, please God, no. And they've already confirmed they're never going to do Charlemagne. That was something they discussed early on, or they discussed at PDXCon. They're not going to put that in because it just kind of didn't work. It didn't work for the style of the game. These ones are possibilities. Jade Dragon, be nice to see China, but they might not include it for the same reason that they don't have Charlemagne. But there is the CK3 map. If you look at the map, the northern, southern, and western borders are all straight, and then the eastern border is all jagged, like the map's been torn. So maybe, maybe we are going to get the rest of Asia one day. Fingers crossed. Yeah, but that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. Speculate with me. Let me know. And, you know, subscribe to the channel. Like this video. Share it with your friends. And help me defeat the evil YouTube algorithm. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.